Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. I'm sitting at Joe's desk. He didn't used to have a desk. He just had his computer and all kinds of stuff on our table. So we got a desk for a total of $5, which was awesome. And he needed a chair, so I gave him my chair that I have with my desk. It's adjustable, and I thought that was just something he needed. So I took one of the table chairs from the kitchen. It was just too short. Didn't work with my desk. So I had this old from the 70s chair, metal chair, backing seat, and it was covered with vinyl. So I am going to show you how I redid that without sewing. I just cut the material, used a stapler, and it worked pretty darn good. Let's go redo a chair. So I'm starting with the base of the chair, where I'm going to sit at, and I just cut a piece of material that is larger by about 4 to 5 inches from the total seat. And so I'm just putting the corners together, kind of seeing if I have it positioned right. I know I have enough material to go all the way around it. And this is a perfect time if you want to change how the pattern looks. And I'm going to first just staple each corner. And I can have a choice. See, there's a staple on the other side. I'm kind of pulling it taut. And I have a choice of either trimming that or tucking it under. And that's just really something that you will decide personally what you want to do. It is on the bottom of it, so people don't see it. So I flipped it over, and I'm just kind of seeing, I want to make sure that it's tight enough. There's not any puckers in there. And so I just went around and I just stapled all the way around on that bottom side. And that way I'm just going to sit it on the chair for right now, see how I want it. And see, this was the old frame, and I spray painted it this red color because I thought it would be great with the fabric. And so I have it back on the table. I've turned it upside down. You can see the staples around. I've trimmed off some of that extra material, and I'm just going to screw those in there. And they just went right in there with the drill. So now I have to do the top of it. And I'm not sewing at all. So I've made it extra wide and extra long for right now. And what I'm doing is I have it on its side, and I'm just trying to tuck the material in, and so it'll crisscross, and I'll just use one staple for right now. I just want to see if I have it positioned right, and if I only do one staple, I can take it off, I can move the material, and I like how it just makes that V on the side. So here I'm doing the other side. Now I didn't replace any of the batting at all, so it is from the 1970s. And so I'm just trying to get it pretty smooth. Now I'll be able to pull the material when I go to hook it on the bottom, but I just want to kind of get the feel for it. So I'm going to put one staple on this side also, making it very easy to pull out if I want to. But see how you can start to see what that top is going to look like. Fabulous. And if you put your material on upside down, perfect time to change that. So I'm going to just trim off some of that extra material because that is way too much material. But it's better to have too much than not enough. So I'm just going to trim that up a little bit. And I'm just going along that bottom. And I can save that material for something else. And so see how it'll give me the idea of if I'm going to tuck it in under there. There's some more extra material. I'm going to grab my scissors real quick and trim that off also. I don't want to waste any of the material, but I do want to have enough to really be able to secure it onto the board and the batting. And so I'm just tucking it under. I want to see how it'll look. And it's very loose right now. But when I start to staple it, I'm going to pull it taut, and it'll work perfect. Now, this top part actually has to slide onto the metal on the backing, and I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. So here I am. I've flipped it around, so now you're seeing the front side, and I'm going to just put a few staples in. Now, if any of your staples don't go in far enough, just use a hammer. And I'm going to literally tuck that in back behind there. And then I can start playing with it. I'm going to give you a little bit closer look. And see, I'm just folding my material over because I'm not sewing on this chair whatsoever. And my estimated time to do this chair, about 20 minutes. Not very much, but see how I can just start working it. If my staples aren't exactly and they're not tight enough, I'll just pull them out and staple one more time. But see how it's really coming together now. Now, I have covered the holes where that metal slides into, so I am going to have to fix that. And I'm going to add a couple more staples on the sides so it's secure. And they just basically disappear into the material. So I'm using my scissors and I've just cut a hole through the material. I don't want to cut very much material. The smaller the hole that I have, and it just as long as it will slide in there, the tighter that top part will hold. And so I don't really want to cut too much. So you can see how I slice that down. And I'm just going to make a few little notches because the hole's already there in that top. And so I slid it down on there. And I can see the different places where I have to staple on there. But it's looking good. I'm liking it. I put it back on the table and it's upside down. And I am just going to put some staples. That way that material is just going to hold precisely and make it really tight so that it doesn't come off. And my chair is done. I mean, I love it. It's funky, it's fun. It basically cost me $13 for the material and about 20 minutes of my time. How can you go wrong? I'd really like a whole set of these for in my kitchen. But I love it, and I hope it's something that you try to do for basically free. Well, I love it. It's very funky. The material was an upholstery material I got at Hobby Lobby. I got I think for the yard it was about $13, $14. It was on sale. And the chair makes me happy. So next time you need to reupholster, have a staple gun and some material, and you don't even have to sew.